You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. Welcome back to our third hour of live coverage, live streaming on the severe weather event that's currently going on in the United States, Texas and Oklahoma mainly under the gun right now, but flash flood warnings have extended into significant chunks of Kansas. Nearly 500,000 are now affected by a flash flood warning, which currently covers Wichita and several other locations, mainly to its east along I-35. There it is on our screen right now. We've got a lot going on, and that will be the case for quite a while yet, so let's bring in the team. Quite a large team, actually. We've got David, Hank, Ethan, Ryan, Thomas, Max, and Sam. Good afternoon, evening to you all.
Good.
Hi.
Same to you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. This is an all hands on deck situation, as someone mentioned yesterday. Someone mentioned yesterday, yeah, this is an all hands on deck situation for not just us, but for storm chasers and weather reporters as well.
All right, we better keep going. New tornado warnings, well, more extensions really, or changes to tornado warnings, mainly in the areas that we've been looking at. Have you got them there, Hank?
Yes, let me pull up real quick. This do the cell that was to the north of Crescent now. This is the main tornado that has been right now. That appears to be a very well-defined hooklet as velocity hopefully loads. There we go. Let's see. Values in there. Okay, about 115 miles an hour. That's probably an EF2 on the ground. Potentially, maybe an EF1, because, again, not all these velocity values are the same at the ground as they are on radar. They never are, actually. So that's just the maximum value that we can uphold here. As for the twins near Childress, we have two couplets right here. One of them's weakened substantially, but the other one has gotten some more steam going. Has about a 60-mile-an-hour difference there, and that one will move progressively farther up towards the northeast, up into Hollis and Gold in southwestern Oklahoma as it crosses the Red River. We have another tornado warning here for this cell as well to the north of Wellington and east of Samnerwood, and it currently has a velocity signature like this with winds of only about 40 miles an hour. At least the difference is. So it's not particularly well defined. None of these right now are, apart from the one in Oklahoma, and that is going to be the case with these Texas ones. And those are the tornado warnings. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings and a relatively large flash flood warning that Nathan mentioned at the top of the hour for areas near and east of Wichita, as rainfall rates up in this area, southern Kansas, have been relatively high with a lot of these training cells right here. If I can just get on the little information here. This is going to expire at... it won't even say. You have one job.
Midnight. Tonight.
Okay, so at midnight it will expire. Oh, there it is. I just wasn't even... Okay. And this is in effect for basically areas within about... let's say... near Wichita and about 60 miles out towards the east in any direction. That's where the flash flood warning is right now, as well as the flash flood warning in northern Oklahoma to the north of the tornado warning cell, north of Crescent, and this is going to be in effect for the next 40 minutes. Oh wait, that's this for thunderstorm warning. Flash flood warning is in effect for the next 2 hours and 40 minutes, so that means it will be expiring at 7 o'clock tonight. And then a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings, just just essentially everywhere right now, with some embedded tornado warnings.
Yeah, another one just coming in there as well. Continuation for Clarendon and Howard Wick in Texas and Ashtola until 4:30. We've got one or two more questions. What's it looking like in Purcell? Now, I'm not an expert on these geographical
Purcell.
locations. Does anyone know where that is? I don't.
That is just to the south of Norman.
Okay.
So that would
Purcell,
be-
there is absolutely nothing yet. Later tonight, or later this evening and into tonight, that will definitely change. But in Purcell, it will be, for now, it's quiet. In the next 6 hours, or next really 3 hours, that might and will change.
And a
So-
premature question there as well. How bad is this outbreak compared to the 2011 super outbreak?
So this
Not
isn't
much
as
going on
bad
right now,
as
actually.
the 2011 super outbreak. The 2011
You don't
super
think-
outbreak.
I
Yeah,
really don't
it's gonna be at least another 50 years before something can compare to that. But
All right.
for this one, it's probably a lot more comparable to some of these other outbreaks that we've had. The April 2012 is comparable to that one. To the May of 2013, either of them, it's comparable to that. May of 2011, it's comparable to that one. And even May of 1999, although that one didn't have as much activity, it was much more of a violent tornado event. And this one might be similar to that. It's gonna maybe a little while for us to know exactly what it compares to. So again, once we have the confirmed number of tornadoes, once this is all said and done, we'll be able to relay that more. Yeah, and I'm also hearing myself, so that's annoying.
I was wondering how comparable this might be to 1974.
Oh, anything with the word super in front of, don't compare it to that, because those are on different levels. And both of those super outbreaks weren't even in Oklahoma. Those were in the super outbreak of 1974 was extended across basically the entire Ohio Valley, while the super outbreak of 2011 was across Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, basically Dixie Alley. And none of those are where this is. This is in traditional Tornado Alley. This is not where those two super outbreaks happen. Outbreaks here happen more frequently. It's just the difference is that that sometimes the coverage of them isn't as large as you may get further east with those outbreaks.
New severe thunderstorm warning for Hennessy and Douglas in Oklahoma right now. 60-mile-an-hour winds possible, quarter-sized hail up until 4:30 p.m.
No, I didn't get a chance to see, but at the 4 p.m.
80
Eastern
miles
Time
an hour.
outlook,
Oh my goodness. We
At
have an
the-
update on the. Sorry to interrupt, but we do have an update to the severe thunderstorm warning for Lubbock. That is.
Lubbock.
80
It is
miles.
Lubbock. I'm sorry. It
Lubbock.
is Lubbock, not Lubbock.
Yes, 80 miles per hour winds now.
Where's that from?
That was an update from. That's is an update for Crosby and Lubbock, and cancels Terry County.
Yep. 80-mile-an-hour winds there. This would
Wow.
include. Yep. This is 6 miles south of Lubbock. It includes basically the Lubbock area along with Slayton, Abernathy, Wolforth, Idalou, Lorenzo, Ransom Canyon, Lubbock, South Plains Mall, Texas Tech University, Texas International Airport, Slide Downtown Lubbock, Woodrow, New Deal, and Lubbock Science Spectrum. We also got a new tornado warning. This is a continuation for the confirmed tornado. This is for Watonga, Thomas, Hitchcock, Eagle City, and Fay. This is a report of a tornado located near Fay, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
well, continuing my question from earlier, did the SPC make any changes to the tornado risk at 4 p.m. Eastern Time?
No.
Okay, so it was left at 45 then.
Tornado warning for Perry, Red Rock, Orlando, Oklahoma until 5 p.m.
Is that
This
a
is an
confirmed tornado?
I'm not sure if that's an extension. Another tornado warning for
Yeah,
Watonga,
it is.
Hitchcock, and Eagle City, Oklahoma until 4:45 p.m. These two have just come in the last minute.
Yeah, that's a new one. So the one that he mentioned earlier, that was an extension of the one that's to the east of Marshall right now. This tornado warning, not really much of a couplet on this one, honestly. But there could be something on the ground, possibly there. There's a bit of radar. There's a bit of radar obscurity right here, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly where it would be. But as for the one to the north, this one is probably an EF2 tornado. That's moving up towards the north, between Marshall and Orlando, and towards the Perry area, and eventually maybe Red Rock over the next hour or so. Yeah, velocity differences in here. Let's see, that's 100 miles an hour right there with that direction right there. So that's probably about 120 miles an hour right there. So this is going to be it's going to be a little while before that one gets to Perry, but it will still be pretty significant anyways.
And also a severe thunderstorm warning along the border between Kansas and Missouri right now. 60-mile-an-hour winds possible from this. Includes Pittsburgh and Lamar on either side of the border. So is this one of the furthest east that we've had so far?
Oh, I just realized that there was a warning there.
Yeah, that would be.
This is the it wouldn't be the furthest east we saw, because we saw that one earlier. That was just to the east of or west of Springfield. But this one right here, yeah, that's moving through West Mineral, eventually Scammon, and into Cherokee and Weir. That'll be moving off towards the east into areas north of Joplin in Missouri, near Jasper and Lamar, Carytown, Next City, Asbury, Waco, how you pronounce that. It will be moving into those areas within the next hour or so, and we'll probably be jumping some hail up to quarter size, very heavy rains, and some winds possibly up to 60 miles per hour. It looks like there's more extensions to the severe thunderstorm near Lubbock right now, off towards the northeast. That is an association with what appears to be a little bit of a mesoscale complex starting to develop a little bit, and this may be the precursor to the squall line that will develop tonight. Currently, there is just this that looks somewhat suspicious right there. It's a very weak couplet right there, southwest of Floydada, and that will be moving off towards the northeast towards Floydada, and then eventually continuing off towards the north, towards Quitake and Turkey here. All this is to the northeast of Lubbock, and the actual cell that moves through Lubbock right here. There's a big black center right here because that's where the radar is located. All that's moving off towards the north and east and clearing Lubbock right now. Lubbock is probably going to be in the clear for most of this, with the exception of potentially this cell to the south. This is also severe warned right here. Probably some just very large hail with that one and strong winds.
All right, Hank. An interesting one has come up here. Arkansas, severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. They do state explicitly a tornado is also possible, so you might want to look down there and see what's going on.
Yeah, we also.
Yeah, we have a new tornado warning.
There's just the cell that's near Hot Springs. It's not even in the actual watch box. That's also the east of Little Rock, west of Little Rock. I hear the words "new tornado warning." That's just an extension of the cell that was near Childress. So for
Are you sure?
This is just going to be for.
No, it's a new storm.
I-40.
Is it new? Because I'm not seeing anything that's brand new.
It's in western Oklahoma. This includes the town of
there it is.
Eric.
There it is. Okay. It just wasn't showing up.
Tornadoes possible with that one.
So,
it's
yeah,
radar indicated, actually.
Well, tornadoes. Yeah. Well, you guys got to consider that tornadoes are going to be possible with literally anyone because of the setup that's going on. So that's kind of redundant. There's not really a whole lot of rotation here. I mean, there's some, but it's not really significant. There's just a lot of inbound wind coming in here to Eric. As well as some velocity values, about 50-ish miles an hour. So if something is present, it's probably relatively weak, but we'll just have to wait and see. Again, when these cells are kind of clumped up, sort of like this, it's going to be tough for them to really start gaining a lot of vorticity within them, because that means that nearby cells are also absorbing a lot more. So that means that the cells themselves are not able to really get wound up and produce these tornadoes. But some of these more isolated ones, like this one farther to the south, different story. So these ones right here, I wouldn't worry about too much, but these ones and these ones are the ones that I would be watching a lot more closely for the potential for a tornado to come onto the ground here. And then the velocity values.
Just to confirm, a tornado warning continues for Hollis, Gould, and McQueen, Oklahoma, until 4:45.
Yeah, that's the one I thought y'all were talking about. That's just the one couplet that is now crossing the Red River into Oklahoma and appears to be weakening, but not significantly. And this is probably also, there's also probably a tornado associated with this one as well. Probably relatively weak, but still a tornado nonetheless is still pretty significant.
I did want to mention that there is a suspiciously strong-looking velocity signature with the storm that is severe warned crossing the northeastern Kingfisher, southeastern Garfield border. That's in central Oklahoma. That's right next. That's in between the two confirmed tornadoes that we got going. But that's looking really strong to me, at least from the radar. And then it looks like there's.
I heard two words, and I heard in between. Let's see. I think I know what you're talking about here. Yeah, that little couplet right there. Yeah, that's probably also having a tornado on the ground. I'm so shocked that's also not tornado warned. Yeah, and then the cell that we've been monitoring all this time between Marshall and Orlando, that still definitely that one still definitely has a tornado on the ground as well. Just get radar imagery of that one. Yeah, I mean, possibly. We'll see on exactly how that evolves, but again, that one's going to be more dependent on just more microscale features than anything.
Now, Thomas, you joined us this hour. You'll be taking hold of the US stream, I'm led to believe, next hour.
That is true, yeah.
So that is when we'll have pretty much sort of like a handover, really, from the main Force 13 channel over to the US channel. We'll be simulcasting the US stream. We'll be keeping one or two people here to talk a bit more tropics coming up in the next hour after this. And the main discussion on the US severe weather will move to the US channel. So be prepared for that. The link is in our description, ready for later. And that's how we're looking. That is all of our people there as well. Excellent. That is the latest picture from the Severe Weather Central there, the Storm Prediction Center. That 45% oblong all over the northeastern part of Texas into a large part of Oklahoma. Someone who's not spoken yet, any thoughts? I'll just have an open floor.
Well, I haven't spoke much, so I'll go ahead.
Sure.
It's very interesting, as they always say, how this day has been unfolding, because I was honestly expecting a lot more of these storms to be tornado warned, not to the level of what it is right now. But then it's only 5:18 p.m. Eastern time, and typically we see the strongest tornadoes around 7-8 p.m. Eastern time. So it wouldn't surprise me if things get a lot more hectic within the next hour.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised about that. I was really expecting the severe situation to start firing up early this morning. It doesn't look like there's been too much going on. But we have had a couple of brief tornadoes so far. Mainly the severe thunderstorm warnings have been the dominant risks right now. Like there's been some warnings that are reported that are indicating high winds of about up to 80 miles per hour, as we saw near Lubbock, Texas. I hope I got that right.
Did he get it right? I don't know.
And then most of the tornado warnings so far have been radar indicated, but I just want to reiterate that because of the way how this has kind of been performing, the weather situation has been under par. Don't assume that this is going to be not a very significant threat, because it will be later on. We have but the high risk is there for a reason, and it's going to very likely spawn some significant hail and tornadoes as well as flooding. So if you live in any of those areas, please have a plan of action and know what to do if you are impacted by any of these storms, because these could be pretty serious.
We have
We
a
have a
new
couple-
tornado warning. This is for Cherokee, Crawford, Barton, and Jasper counties. 2 of those in Missouri and Kansas. This is north of Joplin. This is a radar indicated tornado warning.
We have another one that's also just gone into effect. This one is in effect for the following counties. Just a sec. I think they're both. I think they actually. This is very strange. I'm seeing here that the Weather Service must have accidentally issued 2 warnings for the same cell. They're exactly the same. It's the exact same locations. It just looks like they accidentally. That's quite bizarre. But yeah, we do have that new tornado warning that has just gone into effect. We still have 1 confirmed tornado. The other one has been downgraded to radar indicated. That tornado warning has been updated. That is still in effect for the following counties here. So that's still in effect until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time for southwestern Noble and southeastern Garfield counties. This is now a radar indicated tornado with pong ball sized hail. Looks quite strong on velocity, but currently it looks like in this situation we are seeing no longer confirmed tornado. I also did just want to mention that I know that we said that there was underwhelming activity earlier, and while activity wasn't quite as high, at least for me, as I was initially expecting, I do want to really note that the fact that it wasn't quite as high as what we were expecting means that there's more energy remaining in the atmosphere for later, which isn't particularly fantastic news for places like Oklahoma City, because they're already in that 45% tornado risk. The fact of the matter is, if things are a little underwhelming now, we have conditions basically stacking up in almost every parameter for big tornadoes there. So if things get even more favorable, that's obviously not good news for them. So, I mean, the less activity we get now, the worse it's going to be later. So either way, it's not going to be a good situation. We're going to be remaining most of it.
The tornado warning that is pushing from Kansas into Missouri is now a confirmed tornado. I repeat, a confirmed tornado moving into Missouri as we speak.
That's crossing the border at the moment.
I believe so.
Velocities, I'm loading those up. We'll see what we get in just a minute. Yeah, we still do have those 2 particularly dangerous situation tornado watches in effect. And I think that the Storm Prediction Center described it as numerous violent tornadoes being a possibility today. So please take this with extreme caution. The situation is not one of those things that you see every day. Oklahoma's had lots of tornado outbreaks in the past, but nothing like this in at least a couple of years.
Yes, if you've got any comments or questions for us whilst we're on the air, since it's still possible for us to answer your questions, because we're not completely messed up with everything going on, send in your message. Start your message with Force 13 all in text on the YouTube page. It will light up big and bright for us, and if David's still simulcasting to Facebook, we can be accessible there as well. Hopefully he is. I've no idea.
Yes, we are.
Oh, there we are.
We're simulcasting on the US channel as well.
And
Yeah,
we're
beautiful.
simulcasting on the US channel, which will take the lion's share of the coverage at the start of the next hour, and we'll be talking a bit more tropics here on the main channel. So just so there's no confusion on that, I will rehash that a few times before the change goes, because inevitably someone will pop in at 1 minute past saying, where did the stream go? And we'll make sure everything's in order. Okay, so there's that line of severe thunderstorms and quite a few tornado warnings in that now as well. Is that 5 different events going there?
I believe so.
So the number's slowly rising, and lots of severe thunderstorm warnings, which will continue and become much more widespread, we expect, as we get towards the later part of this evening.
We have
And
many
also-
questions that have come in. The
Oh.
first is, why do people live in Oklahoma with all these tornadoes? Well, I don't know.
Do we have
Maybe
anyone
they
on the
just
team
don't
in
care.
Oklahoma? I'm not sure.
I'm
we
not
do.
sure.
If anyone is from Oklahoma and would like to join our team next time, please get in touch. But in the meantime, I'd be hunkering down. It's not going to be a great day over there.
We have
We've
another
got a
question.
confirmed tornado too.
Sorry?
Confirmed tornado, Pittsburgh.
Yep.
That is Kansas, yes?
Yes.
That is
Moving
a
into
tornado
Missouri.
warning there. It is an observed tornado. That is a tornado warning until 4:45 p.m. It's old news to us, but if you've just joined us, just to confirm that. Ping pong sized hail possible there as well as it moves across the border into Missouri.
Very strong couplet, it looks like, as well. So don't be messing around with this. This could be quite dangerous. This is with, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see what the SPC risk category is. They're in the slight risk for SPC risk. So while the tornado potential is not quite as high, that does not mean that dangerous tornadoes cannot form in that area. They still most definitely can, and probably will.
We have another question. Do we think a 60% chance of tornadoes will be issued by the SPC?
No. It's
No.
too late for that now, because
No.
their next outlook will be at 8 o'clock Central Time.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it'll be
they've
too
ever
late.
issued a 60%, have they?
No, they haven't.
They have,
I
actually. They have.
When was that?
That was, I believe it was April 7th, 2006.
Well, I
so
mean,
they
it's
issued
cer-
it for-
It's certainly possible at
Have been
at 9 p.m.
confirmed.
Eastern Time.
All right, we do have a question that just came in on the U.S. stream. What are the chances of this tornado? This is the confirmed tornado that's crossing the Kansas-Missouri border. What are the chances this tornado makes it into Springfield and east of it? Well, Springfield's quite far away. I'd say the odds of it there, at least in my opinion, are quite low. So I wouldn't be too worried about it if you are east of Springfield at this time.
Well, the chances of it going there are near zero because the tornado warning itself is to the west-northwest of Springfield, and the tornado warning itself is moving east-northeast. So the tornado will move to the north of Springfield.
Overall, that's what it's looking like. So yeah, I'd say if you're east of Springfield or in Springfield, not much worry there. You're also in the marginal risk for severe weather. That is a 5% chance of severe thunderstorms miles of your location in the city of Springfield. So I would not be too worried about it at this time.
All right.
Yeah, we're waiting for any new warnings to come in. No tornado warnings. A severe thunderstorm warning continues for Lubbock. Is it Lubbock now? I've gotten confused by someone mispronouncing it earlier.
It's Lubbock.
That was me.
Slayton
Lubbock.
Sorry for the
and
confusion.
Idalou, Texas,
Sorry for the
until
confusion.
4:45 p.m. So that's still very much the same area there under that severe thunderstorm warning.
80-mile-per-hour winds, too. I want
Yeah.
to throw that out there.
Yeah, up to
So
80
this is
mile an
a-
hour winds, quarter-sized hail.
Yep, that
We
is-
have a massive change to the severe thunderstorm watch in the northeast. It has been canceled for various counties.
Go ahead.
Okay, but this is quite a long list. The severe
Oh.
thunderstorm watch has been canceled for the following counties: Litchfield
not.
in Connecticut, Berkshire in Massachusetts, and several counties, too many in New York, and Bennington and Windham counties in Vermont.
Alright. Well, that was pretty quick. Let's
Quite a
see.
lot in New York.
More questions coming in just now. I know that a lot of people are asking about Invest 90L. We'll be covering that a lot more in the next hour here on Force 13 Live. Our US partners team, the Modern Partners, they're our team, will be taking control on the US channel in the next hour, picking up the main bulk of this severe weather event. If you're unfamiliar with our US channel, you should take a look. Force 13 US, you can get there from our channel page. It's basically the US arm of what we do. They've been doing work on severe weather in general for quite some time now, and do pretty much everything that we don't. So they'll be going ahead with that, and we encourage you to join them if your interests lie here. And that ding means nothing in particular. Another question: what is happening with 90L? That was a question that came in. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Recon's still in there.
I apologize for that.
No changes to any flash flood warnings at this time. If you're unfamiliar with what those warnings are at the minute, a large part of southern Kansas underneath the flash flood warning, affecting nearly 500,000 by the way. That includes Wichita, Darby and El Dorado. That's until midnight tonight. And northern Oklahoma. Both of these regions along the I-35 corridor mainly and east of it. Enid, Honker City and Blackwell, Oklahoma until 6:45. Flash flood warning there as well. The usual information applies. And it's common sense, but people still take a chance with flooded roadways, thinking they can get through. And indeed, people on foot as well move immediately to higher ground. And of course, flood-prone areas are particularly at risk in those regions.
Yes. A little information. It only takes. The thing is, these waters are very dangerous, especially along the river. It only takes 6 inches to sweep you off your feet, and it will take 1 to 2 feet to sweep away a vehicle.
Turn around, don't drown is the word that we try to publicize a lot when it comes to flash flooding.
Yeah, definitely something that is of concern. You do not want to be out on roads when you are in a flash flood warning. Flash flood warnings flash floods cause more deaths than any other mode of severe weather, if I'm not mistaken. So please take that seriously, because while tornadoes, large hail, things, those are what we cover a lot, it's actually flooding. This is the most loss of life. All right, we do have another question here. This is from Yummy Quee of all people. He's asking us, do you think a strong
Loyal
tornado
viewer,
could pop
Thomas.
out in Missouri tonight?
That person's been there since the start of our stream. What was that question?
It was, do you think a strong tornado could pop out in Missouri tonight?
Well, there's the potential for long tracking tornadoes.
Yeah, there is. That's generally, I think, focused in Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, the potential for it, definitely there. I'm going to go with a no for now. But, I mean, of course, it's not impossible. But if it were to occur, it would occur in the southwestern portion of Missouri. Extreme southwestern Missouri, actually, where it's by far the most likely. And by the time you get into eastern Missouri, HQ, as you have virtually. So.
All right. Thomas, I think you're just a little bit quiet, by the way. You might want to turn yourself up a little bit on there. Hopefully not too much, otherwise we'll get deafened then. Interesting.
Let's hope not.
The tornado warning continues for the towns of Perry and Red Rock in Oklahoma until 5 p.m. Daylight time. A radar-indicated tornado warning for those towns.
Yes, and ping pong ball size hail as well with that particular storm. Let me go find what communities this would impact. This is still going to be near Perry, Red Rock, and Ceres, as well as Interstate 35 between mile markers 187 and 199.
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but we had a new message discussion issued about 20 minutes ago. This is concerning the Severe Thunderstorm Watch 198 across New England. They are saying that this continues, and this is a locally and limited severe weather risk that may persist for another couple of hours.
Interesting. So what are they really saying about that northeast thing? Is it turning out to be a bit of a dud, that one? Or
Really, honestly, yeah. It's mainly a wind threat up there because there's a line of showers and thunderstorms pushing towards the east. Nothing really much. I'm quite shocked that in the watch they have the tornado potential as low and not very low. As a matter of fact, I'm looking on radar now. I'm not seeing any shower or thunderstorms around the New York area or into Vermont or New Hampshire at all. It's really limited to Connecticut and Rhode Island and around the Boston metropolitan area.
Yeah, I mean, the
So
threat up there is definitely going to be very low compared to what we have, especially down in Oklahoma. I mean, I think that their biggest threat, like Ethan was saying, is strong winds. Large hail still definitely a possibility up there, but I think it's going to be primarily severe up there. The primary mode of severe weather down here in Oklahoma, obviously, is going tornadoes at this time. So it's definitely something that needs to be put serious consideration for those people in the state of Texas and the state of Oklahoma. If you are in nearly the entire state of Oklahoma at this point, or you are in northwestern Texas, you need to be really watching this closely because things are going to get quite nasty. We are not at prime time for this quite yet. We're starting to see these cells develop, but they are nowhere near as strong as they could get here within the next hour or two. So probably when the U.S. channel takes over is when it's going to really start to ramp up at about 5 o'clock Central.
Indeed, and you'll probably be there the whole night, right?
That is the plan.
We have a new mesoscale discussion. This is concerning a large part of Arkansas and a little bit of Missouri and eastern Oklahoma. A tornado watch is likely for this area. 80% chance of a watch within the hour for those areas.
All right, and we will be keeping everyone updated as these new watches come out. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to let us know. We'll be more than glad to answer those. And speaking of which, we do have one. Do you think 90L or 91E will form? I can answer you that by saying that they will be talking about that here. Top of the next hour, you'll want to go to the Force 13 main channel to talk more about tropics at top of the next hour.
And that's where you are right now. This is Force 13 Main. Our US team will be covering on Force 13 US in 20 minutes time. We'll let you know where to go, and we'll make sure people don't get too confused. We feel it's the best way to go about because we have two different situations going on. So I think both of them deserve a decent amount of coverage. I think there's a new tornado warning. I can't get to it right now, but do we have any news?
Let's see here.
Yes, I have the tornado warning. The following towns are under a tornado warning in Missouri: Nashville, Minden Mines, Iantha, Lamar, Irwin, and Sheldon. This tornado warning is a radar-indicated tornado warning, and half-dollar size hail is possible. This tornado warning is in effect until 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. For about
Radar
22
indicated tornado there. $half sized hail possible. Just less than 10,000 in that zone.
Thomas, you should be safe from all the severe weather today, right?
Certainly. Tomorrow is when the more concerning day for me is going to be.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, certainly it is a situation that I think that no one desires to be in to see what's going on today, because today is going to be probably most dangerous, if not the most dangerous day of the entire year.
Likely.
So we'll be keeping a very close eye on things here over the next few hours. We'll probably be live until top of the next day, at least at this rate. So it's going to be very, very strong if things do go as forecast.
We have an update to the severe thunderstorm warning in Arkansas. The Yellow County in Arkansas is no longer under the warning. However, Garland, Perry, Pulaski, and Saline counties in Arkansas are still under that severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado remains possible.
Update
Got a
to
new,
a tornado
tornado
warning. Gold
We also got a new tornado warning
in Oklahoma.
Yes, this includes Paulus, Gold, and McQueen. This is for west central Jackson and southern Harmon counties in Oklahoma, and northwestern Hardeman County in northern Texas. This goes until 5:15.
I think you just mentioned that Arkansas severe thunderstorm warning, didn't you? That continues.
Yeah, it was just meant, but for those that are new here, I think we can go over it again.
Until 5 p.m. Well, let's just put up the map so that people of a visual persuasion, like me, get to see things as they prefer. Here it is, the severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado also possible in that, with golf ball sized hail and also a possibility. But I can't help feeling as though we've entered a slight lull at the minute.
Yep, definitely feels like that before we really get into
Yes.
peak time, really.
Yeah, I think that's honestly more bad news than good news when we get into the ultimate grand scheme of things. Because the less activity we have now, the worse things will be later.
Yeah.
We
Seems
have
as
a
if this.
new
Yeah, go ahead.
flash flood warning for Fairview, Helena, and Okeen, I think, in Oklahoma. This is until 7:45 p.m. All of these locations involved. So this is way to the west of I-35, towards the northwest there. Flash flood warning. Same advice applies as to all the other flash flood warnings, and the area underneath these warnings are spreading at the minute. I don't know if anyone's got any information about how much rain is falling right now.
I don't right now, but I can get some data. So that new flash flood warning, is in the state of Oklahoma, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I see it. So
A new severe thunderstorm warning over pretty much that same area as well now.
yeah, the exact same area actually looks like. So here we go. I'm gonna pull up the precipitation.
We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning for Midland, Odessa, and Gardendale in Texas. This is quite far west. Let's show this one too. That's along I-20 there.
I'm finding rain up to 3, maybe 4 inches falling in total with stuff going on. Let's take a look how much rain's fallen in the past hour. In the past hour, I've seen up to 2 inches within that flash flood warning area could be falling per hour right now. So very high amounts of rain, and not much rain is needed in order to saturate these grounds. These places have already had enough rain. They don't need much more.
Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Lamar, Jasper, and Golden City, Missouri until 5 p.m. on this map here. You can see the size of that area. Severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado also possible in that.
Alrighty, I did want to also say we do have a question from let me see here, from Trent Oglin, Trent Oglin. He says, do you think that this tornado watch that'll probably be issued in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma regarding the new mesoscale discussion will be PDS? I don't think so. I don't think the conditions are quite going to be there for a PDS watch.
All right. We continue to look at that wide radar shot there of that line of thunderstorms. Where's it going to go? Where's the next place that's going to be affected by this, Thomas?
Okay, so with the line of storms we have, that's a very broad question. But before you get to that, I think a new tornado warning was issued. Yeah, it was in Texas.
New tornado
Central,
warning.
Childress County, Hale County, in the Panhandle of Texas. This is until 5:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's for a tornado and golf ball-sized hail, as well as radar-indicated rotation. But back to your question, really, it depends. So later today, we still have Oklahoma City, who's yet to be hit by this. They're probably going to be some of the ones to get the worst of this situation. With that being said, we already have a good idea from the SPC where it's going today. Tomorrow, it's going to actually be headed up into the main focus of severe weather being in northern Arkansas, the western sides of Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, southern Iowa, all those areas, and the entire state of Missouri really the primary focus for severe thunderstorms, with central and eastern Missouri being where I think the largest focus right now, according to the SPC. With an enhanced risk over that particular area. So tomorrow it looks like it's going to be more of a wind threat as this moves up. The real uncertainty with it right now is whether we're going to be seeing discrete supercells developing ahead of it. It looks less likely right now than likely. So odds are it won't, but there's a possibility of it. If supercells were to develop ahead of it, pretty nasty tornadoes. But we just don't know yet. There's not quite enough certainty.
No. Yeah, everyone everyone just needs to be on high alert right now because these conditions could change very, very quickly this evening.
Okay.
Rapidly changing conditions are almost expected.
So the severe thunderstorm warning that is currently, is this the one that is near Lubbock? Let me check. The one that is just to the northeast of Lubbock now has 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a possible tornado.
Wow.
That was just issued a few minutes ago.
That was just updated about a minute ago.
Okay.
So it definitely looks like that line that is currently starting to develop there, I guess like right around Lubbock there, would we expect that to be like some significant tornadoes down the road?
Yeah, from what the SPC is saying and other sources, yes, I believe we're going to have some significant tornadoes.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to affect populated areas is still very uncertain.
That's the main question. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Floyd-Adas, Petersburg, and Cedar Hill, Texas, until 5:15. Also for Post, Augustus, and Buenos, Texas, until 5:30. Severe thunderstorm warnings there. Very much similar regions than what we've been looking. It's all that whole northern region that's getting all of this severe weather.
Yeah, we're getting quite a bit of severe weather right now, really on the side of this high risk. And I think that as this advances south, that's going to really start to see these supercells begin to shine and really show their potential. And unfortunately, I think that's really what's going on. But yeah, lots of rain falling there as well. And with that being said, we do have a new flash flood warning that just came out. Has someone mentioned that?
No, that hasn't been mentioned. We'll get it on the screen.
It's for Osage County and Pawnee County in northeastern Oklahoma. That's until 12:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time on Tuesday. And that is for very heavy rainfall that's expected to occur throughout the entirety of both of those counties. If you're in either of those counties, just take your flash flood precaution. We will be going over at top of the next hour the precautions to take flash flood, severe thunderstorm, and tornado warnings, as well as watches as well. So you'll be seeing relatively soon at top of the next hour West stream, as well, it is important for everyone to know what to do.
Yes. Another severe thunderstorm warning for Elk City, Sayre, and Sealing, Oklahoma, until 5:30. That's this here, which I think you just saw there along I-40 and north of there. Severe thunderstorm warning. Again, very similar position as to what we've been looking at already. The event continues. We're really still just getting started tonight. And another one, this one's interesting. Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Providence inside a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. here it is on the screen. So that is now the highest population that's under a individual severe thunderstorm warning at over 500,000, nearly 700,000 in this area right now. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. Penny-sized hail possible, winds of up to 60 miles an hour. That's valid until 6:15 Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah, the wind is expected to be the main threat up there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
All right. Just joining here. Isaac here. I was looking at the live stream earlier, and a chaser near Hollis, I don't know how to say it. Near the
Hollis.
Texas Oklahoma border, reported a possible rain wrap tornado near that city about 10 minutes ago. Last I heard, he was trying to get a better look of it, but again, a possible rain wrap tornado over there by a chaser.
Interesting. So if you've got any comments or questions for us or observations, please send them in. You can help us to help give out the information. It's really a team effort. More severe thunderstorm warnings for the same areas of Texas, really. One continuing for Midland, Odessa, and Gardendale, Texas, and another one for Rolls, Crosbyton, and Cap Rock in Texas. These both until 5:30 p.m. severe thunderstorm warnings. We're here for another 10 minutes with the severe weather coverage, and then the main bulk of the coverage will be switching over to Force 13 US. We'll be simulcasting for a while whilst we talk here on the main channel about the tropics in the next hour, but the main event will be occurring on Force 13 US, which is our US team's channel. It is separate from the main channel. The link is in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, and I'm sure David can post that on the Facebook page as well if you want to keep up to date on this event. Another severe thunderstorm warning for Memphis, Esteline, and Lakeview, Texas. Until 5:45, ping-pong-sized hail possible and winds up to 70 miles an hour.
We're starting to get reports of flooding around Kansas and Oklahoma. The most recent pair of creeks have flowed out of their banks in Willowdale in Kingman County, Kansas. This was observed by a train spotter at 4:10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Please be careful over there if you live in that area.
Yes, please do. We do suggest that, as this is a relatively dangerous situation. We've had numerous reasons to believe this will be a very dangerous situation today, and I think that those reasons may go up as time does go next few hours. But with that being said, so I guess overall, before we do shift U.S. coverage over to the U.S. channel, what's everyone's thoughts on the current situation?
Well, not really sure what to make of things so far. I mean, I'm getting a suspicion that the longer this takes to really brew up, the more people are going to start to say that it's not going to materialize, and then it might just, go bang very soon.
Yeah, like that's probably my biggest concern right now is that
severe
people
thunderstorm warning in Maine.
What? Okay.
People are starting to let their guard down, and that is that would be a very dangerous thing to do.
A severe thunderstorm warning for these locations in Maine. Quarter-sized hail possible, wind up to 60 miles an hour. This till 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So just as we were saying in the last hour that the northeast threat was turning out to be a bit of a dud, we've had 2 severe thunderstorm warnings up here now in the last 10 minutes.
Nathan, Any sort of team? Any news 390L?
I think Andrea is a thing.
We'll be on
I
that.
think it's been named.
We'll be on that in a few moments.
Right.
Do we have a
Nathan,
name?
It's been named.
No, it hasn't been named yet.
I think we might be the first to know if it's been named, David.
I would like to ask a question.
We're saying it's a
Really,
100% chance of development.
No, they have named it. Yes, it is going to be a named storm. Subtropical storm Andrea has formed, and an advisory will be issued by 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
You have
that
got
is
to be
breaking
kidding me.
news
This is breaking news.
that we will be talking about on the other side of this hour.
Why? Why?
the wind factor.
No. Why?
Yeah, I think Nathan.
Why
didn't
does
Hank
the streak have to
mention that?
continue? What
Anyway.
the heck?
Well, exasperation across our team right now at the formation of Subtropical Storm Andrea. What a surprise.
Okay,
and
screw the Atlantic. Screw the Atlantic.
odd turn of events. Tornado warning continues for Memphis, Esteline, and Newlyn, Texas till 5:15 p.m. We've got a lot to cover. Force 13 US will be taking over the coverage of the severe weather outbreak, not a moment before time. And here on the Force 13 main channel, the next hour will be spent talking about this new subtropical storm. And if you go by the Brazilian officials, you could say there's 2 subtropical storms active right now, although I don't recognise the one in the South Atlantic whatsoever. This has really thrown us off kilter, but if you visit the Force 13 US stream, Thomas, is it already underway?
Yeah, it is.
Well, they'll be running more coverage on the severe weather outbreak, so make sure you go over there to keep up to date on the very latest on that. Much more up-to-date news than we'll be putting out on the main channel in this next hour. We'll be switching over to the tropics. Any final words in the last 2 minutes here?
Tornado on the ground. Breaking news. Tornado on the ground in Cherokee County, Kansas. Report at 4:23 p.m. I don't think it's.
No,
Yeah,
no.
but-
That was a half an hour ago.
Yes, but there was a tornado on the ground earlier. I don't see any damage reports yet, but I don't believe this may have been a brief tornado, but we are not sure. We aren't sure exactly what kind of tornado formed there. We only know that it was on the ground
All right.
some time ago.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with more on what is now Subtropical Storm Andrea. Our US team is switching over. Back in a few minutes. We're going to get our heads together here and try and figure out what's going on. Stay tuned. Our live coverage continues in a moment. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website, force13.com, our YouTube page, youtube.com/Force13, on Facebook under the same name, Force13, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 if you wish to get in touch. You can also add Force13 on Skype, and my personal account on Discord, Fool13, at extension 9094.